Okay, and then the most popular video I'm sure that everybody has been waiting for is the combination skin. So combination skin is a little tricky. Unfortunately, I mean, I will be giving, of course, products that I believe will work for a combination skin, and that should not irritate the dry skin as well as the oily skin. It should pretty much, you know, make you regulated where you feel comfortable in both areas of your face. It gets frustrating because you're like, okay, this cleanser works perfectly for my T-zone, but then my cheeks feel horrible, and vice versa. So sometimes there are people that have to have 2 cleansers, 2 moisturizers, 2 different types of masks because you're really, you know, just having to focus on one area or the other, and they can't just find one product that works for everything. And so you end up spending a lot more money and a lot more time and a lot more hassle trying to take care of it. So I'm really hoping that this list of things that I've come up with is, you know, concise and that works for you guys. The main thing that I like to focus on is having products that alternate. So we want to have some products that are hydrating and then some products that regulate oil. So we kind of want to have a switch off between the two. That way the skin kind of has a chance to be able to regulate itself between both. If we just focus on having a lot of products that are for dry skin, that's not going to work. Products for oily skin, that's not going to work. Using a cleansing milk in the morning will be most beneficial. The milk part, of course, is going to be great for the dry areas, but then it also still cleanses very deeply. My favorite one at the moment that I've been looking at is Juice Beauty cleansing milk. What's great is that it comes with a pump, so you're not having to pour anything out. It's very easy to use. It's very creamy. You only need a little bit to go a long way. And I believe it's fairly accessible. I know I've seen it at Ulta, which I feel like even if the Ulta's not by you, you can get it from online. Next, we want to find a toner that's going to regulate the skin, but that does not contain any oils. That way, 1, we're not drying out the cheek area, and 2, we're not drying out the T-zone and then having it overproduce oil. So my favorite one is the Thayer's Cucumber Toner. It's cooling, it's refreshing, it's all natural. It does do everything that you need. It moisturizes without having to dry, but it doesn't add too much moisture where you're feeling slick throughout the day. Now this is the harder part. The finding the moisturizer was a really hard part for me, because normally if you use things that are for gel, your cheeks are going to feel dry, and if you use something that's more of a heavier cream or an oil, your T-zone's going to kind of feel a little bit slick throughout the day. I was drawn to the Neutrogena combination moisturizer because it does have some properties in it that are almost powder-like that help mattify the T-zone, but it has still enough moisture that way your cheeks won't feel irritated. At night, I like the idea of washing while you exfoliate. That way you're having just one step and you're not being too abrasive to the skin. If you're abrasive to any skin type, it's not good. If you're abrasive to oily skin, you can be exasperating the oil, making it worse. And if you're abrasive to dry skin, you can just be overstripping the oil and just causing more dryness, which is not what you're looking for. So I like to find a cleanser that contains a glycolic or lactic acid in it, and that's a foaming cleanser, something that's going to be very gentle. I believe it's called the PCA facial wash. It does contain glycolic acid as well as lactic acid, but it is a nice gentle foaming cleanser. That way you're feeling like you're getting a nice clean, but you're also getting a nice exfoliation. Then you're going to tone like normal because we want to bring the pH of the skin back to its normal range. And then you're going to layer on a serum. So what I like about a vitamin C serum that contains a hyaluronic acid is that you're getting brightening, you're getting additional exfoliation, you're helping rebuild the cell structure so that your skin has an overall really pretty glow. But then the hyaluronic acid does help trap in moisture, that way your cheeks feel comfortable, and that way your T-zone's not going to overproduce any oil. I really like the Mario Badescu vitamin C serum because it contains both hyaluronic acid as well as vitamin C, and it really does a good job at brightening the skin. And once again, I think it's one of those fairly accessible things that it's at Sephora, it's at Ulta, but you can always order online if that's an option, if you know none of those stores are around you. The serum itself is very moisturizing, but if you are feeling a little parched still, like in your cheek area, feel free to use a moisturizer from the daytime on that cheek area. And as far as mask, I would actually recommend, because masks are so geared towards skin types or skin problems, I would actually recommend getting the Glossier Moisturizing Moon Mask for the cheek area, and then getting the Aesop Chamomile Anti-Blemish Mask for the T-zone, which are the masks that I recommended for the dry skin and for the oily skin. And that's really the only thing that I believe that you should really get 2 of. Masks are very specific towards skin type. They're very specific if you have problems, and they're a lot more potent. So there's very rarely a mask that's going to work for combination skin overall. Thank you so much for watching my video, or watching all three, even if you know that you only have one specific skin type. I really hope that these videos helped you guys and that they were nice and concise. In the description box, if you have any questions at all on alternative products, if you have any questions about your specific skin types, I can always answer any questions that you have to the best of my ability. Like always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I love to read your comments. Thank you so much for, you know, all the comments that I have been getting. It's very encouraging, and thank you to all my 30 subscribers, which is very cool to think that you guys like my videos enough to subscribe to me. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's Morgan Christine 2_S, and bye.